Welcome to The Author's Journey with #1 international best-selling author and in-demand publisher, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. Today, we'll showcase the works of an amazing best-selling author, find out the story behind their book, and explore ways to bring your message powerfully forward. Now, here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everybody, to The Author's Journey. Honored to connect in with you today. And I'm really excited for our guest today. I know you're going to enjoy her heart, her spirit. And she has actually participated in a lot of different writing projects, from group kind of compilations to bringing her own multiple books forward. So she has some really great wisdom and perspective that she can bring to the conversation about what it's really like to hold that space, to consistently bring books forward, and to really align with your whole purpose in doing so. So I know you're going to enjoy what she has to share. And with that, I wanted to take a moment and just slow down, pause, breathe, and invite you to pull up a chair, grab a piece of paper and a pen. This is a moment to really connect in, to slow down, and allow us to pour into you. I invite you with that notepad and paper to be ready, because when we're talking and sharing with the intention of supporting you on your journey, there can be ideas and insights that pop up, a suggestion that resonates with you. You may want to connect further with our particular guest, and we're going to share all of that information today. So have your paper and pen ready, slow down, be present, open, ready to receive. And I am excited to officially introduce our guest. So Dr. Sharon Arrindell is just an amazing person. She's a #1 international best-selling author. She holds multiple degrees, including a bachelor, multiple masters, and a doctoral degree. She is a native of Jamaica, West Indies, and has spent many years in the fashion industry prior to switching careers. She is now the president and CEO of Inspired Wholeness Enterprise. She has authored multiple books, including her most recent, Armored and Victorious. She is passionate about helping you step into your wholeness. Please lean in and warmly welcome the #1 international best-selling author, Dr. Sharon Arrindell. Welcome.
Yay. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad to connect with you and that you're able to join us. I know behind the scenes we were talking for a few minutes, and you've been on a whirlwind of different trips and speaking engagements and things connected with the book that have just been unfolding, as well as welcoming a new grandbaby into the world.
Yes,
so congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I'm just honored and thrilled you were able to carve out some time for us. I so appreciate that. And I wanted to start our conversation with, what is Inspired Wholeness Enterprises, and why is the work that you do there and with that organization so personally important to you?
Well, it started officially in 2012, just wanting to inspire people to be whole again. I work in the counseling and coaching industry. As a licensed counselor, I get to see a lot of broken people. And so on that note, it just felt like people just needed to be whole, because you can't really do anything when you're fragmented and broken. You can't really fulfill your purpose. So I went on to begin this company. At the time, I was still working a full-time job, so it was just like a part-time thing that I was just doing. But then after COVID especially, it just became very real in 2020, and people were hurting, of course, and there I was, trying to bring a sense of wholeness. Beyond that, it just took off. People were seeing me on social media, which was not a thing that I really liked to begin with, but it became my reality.
I know, I see you there all the time now.
Yeah, I know. It became, I still don't like it, so to speak. It's work for me to get on and do what I do, but there was an urgency in the air. There was an urgency for me to go beyond the walls of just the church and go out and fulfill this mission that I'm on to help bring wholeness to people. And as a result, a lot of things were birthed, including the book, but more than that, just me being a coach, because I never thought of myself as a coach. I thought of myself as a counselor, but I've built a couple of coaching programs, one for single women, one for couples, that are going to launch soon. And the hope and the belief is that through those, I will help, again, to rescue people from brokenness into a place of complete wholeness. So that in a nutshell, is my reasoning behind what I do.
Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And I love that you were in position and available as COVID and the pandemic and all that came from that, and such a profound shift around the world in such need, and that you leaned in and answered that call and have been leaning in ever since to help and support people into wholeness. I just honor that and celebrate that. And I thank you for your work and your contribution to so many.
Thank you for thanking me.
You're welcome. And I'm excited to hear about those programs that are coming forward. That's exciting to know. And I did want to spend a little time on your book that you recently released. It became a #1 bestseller in multiple categories. And you're welcome. And I'd like to know a couple things about this. So, one, why did you bring, this book? Because you've shared in different books. So why was this book in particular calling to you and important for you to bring forward? And what is your vision and hope for it?
Well, I wrote a book already about myself. Actually, twice I did it, because I wrote it the first time and published it in 2013. And then in 2022, I revised it because I realized I had written it from a place of pain instead of victory, when in fact the name of the book is about victory, right? Weapons for Victory. And so I redid it, but after everybody was reading it, they kept asking for the sequel. And I kept saying, it's really difficult to write a book. You guys are acting like I could just get up and just do this. So I kind of still sat on it. But I kept writing in my journal. I wrote in my journal. I always write, still do, day after day, what's happening with me. And so I ended up in the hospital with COVID in 2021, August 2021. And I was in there for a while. When I got out, which a lot of people did not, that were in there with me, I looked back at the hospital and I realized, I said, Lord, I'm a designated survivor, so what would you have me to do? Well, it took about 2 months for me to really get better. And after that, I realized I needed to write this. So I went to writing, and that's when I started writing the book about the sequel, what happened after Weapons for Victory. And I just kept writing and writing and writing, and then I reached out to you about this bestseller thing, because my husband was pushing me to do that. He's like, you keep writing all these books. What does it take to become bestseller? I said, I really don't want to know, because I know it's a lot of work. And it's okay. I just want to write it, put it out there. People read it, become whole. He said, well, if it becomes a bestseller, more people get to read it. I said, I don't know. And so I did. I listened to him and called you, and the rest, is kind of history. I called you, and, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work to get it to become that. Even on the day when it was supposed to be a bestseller, it was still a lot of work to put in. But in the back of my mind was how many people, because I still go back and read the book every now and then. And I go, it's hard to believe that I'm reading about myself, because the book is not for me. It's for those who need to be healed. Yeah. And the hope is that they could go through my story and realize their own story. Not everybody will write it and it become a book or a bestseller or whatever, but just picking up a pen and start writing. I didn't start writing to become an author. I started writing to become healed. And so the hope is that somebody else will pick up a pen, and they feel like they're floored and they can't do anything anymore. Just start writing about it. Start writing about it, and just writing these letters to God, so to speak. That's what I thought. I was like,
Beautiful.
I'm just writing to you, God, because you're here, and I'm just writing to you. The first time I literally wrote anything, I was on the floor crying, and I picked up what I believe was a receipt, and I started writing on the back of it, just writing what was going on in my head space, just writing. And that's how it all started. It did not start out with me going, oh, I think I should be an author. No, it started from me just being broken and on the floor and writing these letters to God, and Him just rescuing me from all of it, And so the hope is that the book will rescue others from their situations as well.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. You and I have talked many times, and I've never heard how you started writing. So I really appreciate learning that today. And thank you for sharing that with our listeners as well. Very, very powerful. Armored and Victorious became a #1 bestseller in multiple categories and in the U.S. over and over and over, as I remember. And I know it was a lot of work, but was it worth the work and the journey?
Yeah, it was. It was. When I see what's happening now, and different people, wanting the book, and not just wanting that book, but wanting the books that came before, so they could connect the whole story. So it has become, I was telling you earlier, I had a book release celebration, and the community came out and just supported the whole thing. It was a great night. My family was there. My daughter actually interviewed me, and it was good for her to interview me because she's been there for the whole thing. She's watched me walk through all of it. So her questions were riveting and moving and loaded, because I did not know what she was going to ask me. And so it was powerful in that way. And at the end of it, there were people in the audience who were my clients. And I didn't, you cannot reveal your clients because of confidentiality.
Yeah. Yes.
But they started revealing themselves by standing up and talking about the things that I have done that you just do randomly because it's your work to do. That's what you've been commissioned to do, and you're doing it. But it was good to hear people from the community who have reaped from what I have sown into their lives. It was a moving experience for me. And so, the book has done that and, other things. I told you I'm here, not just to celebrate my new grandbaby, but also to celebrate the book at a book fair. And so it's become bigger than what I thought. I like what it's become, and I'm very grateful to you. And I always said to you, do you have elves out there working with you, doing what they do behind the scenes? And whoever the elves are, I just thank them as well, because no man is an island, and I could not have done this by myself. So I'm very grateful, to you and, what you do as well.
Oh, thank you. We are very honored to be on the journey, myself and all of our elves. Honored to be part of it. And we just celebrate all the momentum that has come and continued and is building in the impact. So I just hold that space and celebrate with you. Very excited. We are getting ready to go to our commercial break here as the listeners, as that's going on. I encourage you to stay present and just kind of see what seeds are being planted in your heart. I love how she shared that, I didn't set out to be an author. I set out to heal, and I started writing letters to God, and that's how it started. So she just picked up a pen and started writing. So I encourage you to pick up a pen, take a moment here during our commercial break, and see what's coming to your heart and spirit, and we'll continue our conversation in just a moment.
Follow Voice America at facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
The Internet's #1 talk station. #1 talk station. VoiceAmerica.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and had an opportunity to just write down some thoughts, some things that were on your heart, on your spirit. And the key and how Dr. Sharon started, she just started writing. How powerful is that? And it was for herself to heal, to step into wholeness, and look at how all of it has been used and brought forward. It's so powerful. And I know we have been talking with her about some of her journey and her latest book, Armored and Victorious. I know she was describing why she brought it forward, and that pivotal moment when she was released from the hospital, she realized that this was something that she needed to bring forward, that she now was a survivor and had a mission here to bring this book forward, and stepped in to do that. So I'd love for you to give us the full title of your book, because we keep calling it the book, your latest book, so the full title of your book. And I would love for you to describe where we can find it and the cover, because it has a very unique cover.
Okay. The name of the book is Armored and Victorious, Memoirs of a Crossover Season. You can find it on Amazon and also on, I forgot the name of the store, but it's Amazon and, sorry about that. But
and
I
other
forgot
wonderful places, but Amazon, for
other
you can
wonderful
find it
places,
easily.
yes. Yes, and so and also on my website at www.inspiredwholenesscounseling.com, and just go to publications and you'll find it there as well. And so on if you do it on my website, you get a free gift with if you make a purchase, and you also get the book signed by me. But other places do have the book as well. The cover.
So I'm going to jump in and say, everyone, I encourage you to go to her website then. Take advantage of that bonus, that gift, and to get an autographed copy of the book is beautiful. So can you give us that website one more time?
www.inspired, INSPIRED, wholeness, WHOLENESS, counseling, COUNSELING.com. And then just go to publications, and it's the first thing on the page.
Beautiful. And then for our visual listeners out there, I'd love for you to describe your unique cover and your thoughts. Yeah, your thoughts about it, because I know you had some strong opinions about the cover as it was being created.
I did. I did, because I had one book in the past with my face on the cover, and I don't like my face on the cover, so I told the cover designer, no more of that. And he goes, well, I could do it so you're not by yourself. I said, well, who else is going to be on it? And he said, just trust me. And, he's also my photographer. So he took 3 different pictures of me and put it on the cover. So when you see the cover, it won't be just me. It will be 3 of me. He calls it the dynamic trio, and so it really did become the dynamic trio, because it looked so amazing. When I saw it, I couldn't deny it. I couldn't deny that it was a great cover, and so it went forward. Even though I was reluctant at first. So yes, I love the cover of that book. It's my favorite book cover so far.
And I love that. I like how you won't be alone.
He did. Yeah. It was a setup. And I fell for it. So, yeah.
But I love how it's come forward, and that there's multiple Dr. Sharons on the cover. Yes. All armored and victorious.
All armored and victorious, yes. Yes.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, you have written multiple books. You have participated in a best-selling campaign before, because you did with an anthology you were a part of, a book compilation, and then this most recent book. And as you're reflecting back on the journey, not being your first rodeo and writing a book, but were there things that surprised you about this particular journey that you got to navigate through and perhaps have wisdom or a tip or something you want to share around that?
I learned how to be a better writer, even grammatically, because I'm a stickler about that. As a teacher, I like to see good grammar. And so I learned how to be better at writing. Even punctuation and all of that was learned. I learned how a book is supposed to look. And if people buy I sell this as a bundle with the very, very first one, the revised one, and this one as a bundle, and people have been buying it that way. And when you look at the first one, you will see that I had no idea what I was doing. It was the first book I had ever written, and it just was, slap you in the face with grammatical errors and all kinds of things going on. But you will see that I learned how to be not just a writer, but an author. And so that was powerful for me, because I never used to call myself an author. I would call myself a writer. And now I call myself an author. So it was a move for me, the learning experience from all the books I've written. This has been the best written in that area, and the most profound and the most authentic book that I've ever written. I wrote most of it in my journal, but when I was transposing it to the book, I would jump up at 2 a.m. because that's when all my juices flow, and I would jump up and just go and just write for hours until the sun came up. And so I did not do that previously with other books. So, it was as if those were the moments I connected most with God. And he was just downloading stuff into me, what to write, even the scriptures to refer to. Like one of them was the prodigal son, right? And you get to see that young man right at the beginning of the book, because I started from when I was a teenager and how rebellious I was to just run away from church and God. And how, when I came back to God, he never went anywhere. He was there. It was almost like he was saying, well, I was just standing here waiting for you to come back. And he never forced me to come back to him. He just was waiting patiently to have the party, just waiting. And I just flew back to God. And for anybody out there who is on that situation, trying to run from God, just recognize he's never going to force you. But even in those moments, he will talk to you. He will talk to you. He will talk to you. And if you're listening, you will hear. And when you do make that reacquaint yourself with him, he'll just hug you up, have a great party, and keep it moving. He's not like people. He won't say, well, I told you so, or you shouldn't have done that, or whatever. He just keeps it moving, keeps it moving. And so that's what I've learned over these times of writing.
Thank you for sharing. And I love that you have it as a bundle and you're allowing, that's a vulnerability and authenticity to allow people to see the journey and to embrace it and to allow them to see the growth, not just like the end of it, the journey. And I think that's a real gift to all readers out there and to all writers out there and those seeking wholeness. So thank you for sharing and making all of these resources available. I appreciate it. And I just wanted to see if there are any final thoughts or a tip or an encouragement you want to give our listeners today.
Well, I'm not sure who is listening. I don't know if there are other writers or just people, just listening. The enemy, we call him the enemy. Let's just call him by his name, Satan, right? He is not, you got to get up and actually go in and fight for your own life, fight for your life. When I think about somebody like Job, and God literally said, have you considered my servant Job? And right behind it, the next sentence was, he's blameless. It's such an oxymoron. Well, if he's blameless, why do you want to mess with him, God? Because I need him to come up a little higher, right? I need him to come up a little higher. None of us, I know I was not blameless, but I could literally hear God say to Satan, have you considered my servant Sharon? And he trusted me not to let him down. Trusted me not to let him down. And so, even though a lot of it was my own mistake, some of it was just things he allowed so that I could see him stronger, so that I could see him better, so that he could really show up and show out who he is. And that's the same thing he wants to do for whoever is listening. He just wants to show up and show out who he is in your life, if you would just allow him to do that, because he's never going to say, put you down for all of your mistakes and all of your errors and all of your detours. He's just going to say, come on, and let's keep doing this. Let's keep doing this, because he is a God that heals. He does heal. He says he does in his word. In Psalm 147, verse 3, it says, he heals the brokenhearted and he binds up their wounds. So whatever is going on, he is a healer. You just have to allow him to heal you from the inside out.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Dr. Sharon. I appreciate it. I hope that encourages our listeners and sparks something within them as well. For those of you who are feeling that call to write, I love her advice about pick up a pen and start writing, and that eventually you may get to share your writing and call yourself an author, but start writing. That can be a journey towards wholeness as well. And I'd love for you to share your contact information, your website, the best way for people to connect with you. Just one more time for anyone that is feeling that pull and wants more of Dr. Sharon.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned the website is www.inspiredwholenesscounseling.com. My email is inspiredwholeness58@gmail.com. And the phone number is 772-475-0430.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations again on all that is unfolding, including your new grandbaby. And
my new grandbaby. Her name is Callie.
Oh, welcome,
Callie. California.
I love it. I love it. And enjoy this time with your family and all that is unfolding with the book. I just so appreciate you and those of you looking to lean into her most recent book. It's Armored and Victorious. And then I also wanted to give a gift. I know I mentioned this frequently on the show, but I want to make sure people know about the resource. It's called the Emerging Author Series. You can find it at emergingauthorseries.com. It's a collection of free ebooks. You can download as many as you want, and they cover things from frequently asked questions, myths and truths about publishing and writing, and I have an idea, now what? Or I've written the words, now what? You're given direction. What is a launch? What is publishing? So you get all of those things that can help you keep moving your message forward, because that's the key. If you have it laid on your heart to share your message, there's a reason. It's because somebody needs it. And so keep taking those steps to support you and bringing it forward, whatever that path may be. And that's our gift to you, emergingauthorseries.com. I hope it helps support you each step of the way. And it's just an honor to have all of you connecting in. I encourage you to keep reading, keep writing, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to The Author's Journey. Please join Rebecca Hall Gruyter for another edition of the Author's Journey podcast every Monday on the Voice America Variety Channel. And until we talk again, use some of the tips and inspiration from today's show to guide you as you lean in to bringing your message forward.